Let's go across to the guests joining us. Priyanka Kakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party is joining us. Shazia Ilmi of the BJP. I'm also joined by Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist, Tushar Gupta, senior editor, Swarajya Magazine, Umesh Sehgal, former chief secretary of the National Capital, and AP Singh, former director of the CBI. Priyanka, let me begin with you. We know that Manish Sisodia was one of the accused in this case. The FIR was filed 2 months ago. We know that he is the concerned minister under whom the policy was made, and that his questioning was eventually going to take place at least once, if not multiple times. Then why create this hysteria that we witnessed in the national capital today? I mean, he's the minister concerned. The government is accountable for a government policy. Why this hullabaloo today?
Maria, good evening to all of you. Maria, we were supporting Manish ji, and we were supporting in the most peaceful manner. We went to Rajghat first, and then our supporters, we were just showing our support to Manish ji. We did not try to obstruct like the Congress. We were not burning tires on the road. So also, Maria, what is happening is Manish ji's schedule. Manish ji had a lot of road shows lined up in Gujarat till the end of October, and you know, with the growing popularity of Aam Aadmi Party and Manish ji's promises of implementing the similar schooling system like in Delhi and Gujarat, resulted in several things. For example, the Maldhari community in Junagadh has put up posters against BJP that no BJP worker will be allowed in the village and jute padenge unko. That has happened. Then you will also see Mansukh Mandviya ji, the union minister. He also recently, there was a viral video which he was scolding his volunteers that why is Aam Aadmi Party ahead of BJP. Then there was also, you would see subtly the PM Modi himself was talking about Congress working chup chap say, that was subtle support to Congress by the BJP. So all of this combined, they were not able to stop the tsunami that is AAP, which is going to sweep Gujarat. They're not able to stop it there. So they had to hamper the campaign, and therefore
I'll take this charge to Shazia Ilmi, but Priyanka, my central question is, he is one of the accused. We know that hasn't happened today. Some of the accused are arrested, as I mentioned at the start of the show. He was going to be questioned. It's not something that is unimaginable.
Maria, but we know for sure.
First of all, this is Shivani this side.
I'm very sorry, Shivani. Shivani, I can't see the panel, therefore.
Go ahead.
It is, Shivani, it is, what is happening is that, of course, his questioning was impending, yes, but at the same time, there are about 500 raids which have been conducted in multiple locations. And right now, at this time, the idea is to stop Aam Aadmi Party, whose idea has come in Gujarat, and therefore to hamper our road shows, to hamper our campaign in Gujarat. These are the tricks that are adopted by BJP because it's not able to do anything in Gujarat.
Okay, let me take that to Shazia Ilmi. Of course, this is not the first time, Shazia, that the Aam Aadmi Party is accusing you of undermining them ahead of elections. This also was the charge connected to Himachal Pradesh elections when Satyendra Jain was, accused in the other case, and then, of course, when he was eventually arrested. The way these probes or actions are being initiated against the Aam Aadmi Party or its leaders, there are multiple such investigations either by the LG or by the investigative agencies. Is the timing not suspicious of the fact that this is all being timed ahead of very crucial elections for the Aam Aadmi Party?
So I just want to say to the spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party that all this gobbledygook that they keep coming up with is not really working. They have to try afresh, do something else, because ever since they've been in power, they have been raising this this bogey. So I mean, seriously, there are very serious questions here. Like I mentioned, in the first quarter of 2022, the liquor sales, if you look at whiskey or wine, particularly, they went up by 87 and 56%, so to speak. And where was the revenue to the government, which is people's money? So those are real. What happened to 144 crores, which were given to or returned to the liquor mafia or the companies? Why were rules vis-a-vis manufacturers, retailers, and wholesalers changed? Because we don't want to have a monopoly in that area, and that was very clear. Why were some wards given that status that they could have the liquor stores there, And why was a policy brought in, a new policy, hush hush, a cabinet sat on it, and then why was it done away with? Those are very real questions. So I would really like to tell the spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party that, please do not. This too much it draws a yawn. It's too silly now. It's not working. You'll have to come up with something else. Because on the one hand, they say we've done this, and the other. On the other hand, they say, they don't let us work, which is... So, this is...
What about the Gujarat connection, Shazia, before Priyanka responds to that?
It's always a connection. But tell me, if they didn't want... if there wasn't an election happening in Gujarat, it would be happening somewhere else. There would always be elections happening. Arvind wants to contest in every state of India. So that doesn't allow Arvind Kejriwal the right to be corrupt. Does it allow Manish Sisodia to play havoc with the policy and the rules and have windfall gains for liquor companies just because the elections around the corner?
Priyanka, the question surrounding the liquor...
question, most important question. If the elections are around the corner, which they keep happening in India because there's state elections, assembly elections and parliamentary elections, and does Aam Aadmi Party have a right to be corrupt? To play havoc with the exchequer?
Okay, before I go to my other guests, I'll give an opportunity to Priyanka to respond to that. The questions surrounding the liquor policy are pretty serious and grave. And there are fundamental questions that everybody's asking. First of all, why was licensing fee, for example, returned? Or why were debarred vendors allowed to open shops? Why was it only private and no government, etc.? So, as the minister under whom this policy was made and then later retracted, Manish Sisodia has explaining to do. Why are you turning him into some sort of a martyr?
Shivani, thank you for letting me answer this. Shivani, why we say this is, there are about 169 or 180 cases now in which we've been acquitted in 134 or 135 with no iota of evidence against, no charges.
Let me
speak, sir. No, let me speak. Please let me speak.
We're talking about the very
madam. It's too much to expect any sabhyata from BJP. Madam, let me speak. Madam, let me speak.
You have to answer.
Listen. I am.
Because you're caught. Don't
Gujarat is a very different,
my dear friend.
Gujarat is a very different. Gujarat is a... Shivani, you'll have to please.
Sorry.
Let her respond.
I cannot help you. Shrieking, lying, deflecting, obfuscating.
And this is what they do. They won't let me answer. Shivani, you have to please. Shivani, you have to give me an opportunity.
Yeah, I'll give you an opportunity. Shazia.
This is not fair. I can leave then.
Why did the exchequer not earn any
Okay,
money?
fair enough. Those questions, as I enumerated, are serious questions. The government in power is accountable to all of these questions, and especially is the minister in charge. Okay, Shazia, let her respond now. Let her respond.
Thank you, Shivani.
To the question I asked about the public exchequer.
Okay, fair enough. Let her respond. Give her a minute. Give her a minute.
To the liquor mafia and not money going to the public exchequer, to the people of India.
Fair enough.
And
let her respond. Shazia, don't repeat yourself. Please let her respond.
I will try to explain it simply because otherwise she won't let me speak. Simply put, we have implemented the same policy in Punjab and earned a revenue of 4,000
this is
crores.
Let her finish, Shazia. Let her finish. I'll give you an opportunity to rebut. Let her finish. I'll give you an opportunity to rebut. Please be patient. Please be patient. Shazia, be patient. I'll give you an opportunity.
Better is expected of you, ma'am. You are senior than me. Better is expected from you. Let me speak, ma'am. Gujarat is a very different state for you. If you lose Gujarat, you will have no face to show. What is happening is 4,000. This is not correct.
Who pocketed the money?
Shazia, let her respond. Then I'll come back to you. Yes, Priyanka, quickly, please.
You will have to please. I'm trying to be quick. If I was given this chance, I would have rebutted to each and every point. Anyway, simply put, same policy has earned us a revenue of 4,000 crores within the first 6 months of implementation. Secondly, what she's raising the point of 1 crores and all about several times, but because she ate my time, I'll simply speak that even this, even the BJP during the COVID period has granted a waiver of license fee to several departments, and this is because of the order of the Delhi High Court. This is because of the order of the Karnataka High Court. So I don't want to get into the technicalities.
There are more questions actually related to this liquor policy.
I can answer all of them, Shivani.
Yeah, and in any case, my point is that the minister will answer those questions. Heavens have not fallen. Tushar, let me bring you in. Today the Aam Aadmi Party compared Sisodia to Bhagat Singh. He himself referred to Mahatma Gandhi, drawing a parallel and an analogy. Will that hyperbole help them in projecting themselves as martyrs?
Good evening, Shivani. Chest thumping has always been a virtue of the Aam Aadmi Party. I see a lot of ranting and rhetoric here. My simple questions, a few questions. I'm not a party spokesperson. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a policy maker. I'm a common man asking some simple questions, which a lot of people in Delhi are asking today. Ms. Priyanka here says that the same policy has earned them 4,000 odd crore in Punjab. My question is that if the policy was so good, why were your revenues falling down? Number two, you say that this was the best excise policy in the world. My simple question, any common man's or women's question would be, then why do you withdraw it after investigation? Point number three, today you're comparing Manish Sisodia with Bhagat Singh, with Mahatma Gandhi, with who not. Then you also say that you've been acquitted in 160 to 180 odd cases. My question to the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson is, did it not ever strike you once in the last few days that probably the ED is asking Manish Sisodia some questions so that they can nab the actual people behind this corruption case?
And it could well be that after his questioning, he's not charge sheeted. It could well be.
Did it not strike you once that this might be Manish Sisodia cooperating with the ED agencies to nab the actual corrupt politicians or bureaucrats or whoever was involved? No, instead you're on the roads making a martyr of Manish Sisodia, comparing with actual heroes, people who've actually done something for this country. I don't know how that really works. Point number four, I really think that the psephologists that the Aam Aadmi Party consults come from a different planet, because since 2014, we've been hearing Kejriwal that he'll win 400 seats in both the national elections, he'll sweep every state election, but that has not happened. So let's be realistic about it. In Gujarat, the best Aam Aadmi Party can score is a couple of seats and 160 odd assembly seats. So let's not connect it with Gujarat. And every time there's a question of excise policy, the corruption in it, and the ED is only asking Manish Sisodia to help them out. They have not given any verdict. The government has not given any verdict. The center has not given any verdict. But why are you giving out verdicts on every channel every day?
Okay.
Is this an admission
I'll give Priyanka another opportunity, because ultimately the Aam Aadmi Party is facing most of the questions today. But I'll add to what Tushar is saying, Priyanka. I remember when Satyendra Jain was arrested, the Aam Aadmi Party even connected it to the Jain community at large, as if the community should be offended that Satyendra Jain was arrested or accused. Today you're comparing yourself to freedom fighters. Aren't you going overboard?
Shivani, Satyendra Jain and Manish are two people in the party who have revolutionized the education and the health system in Delhi. And there are several reports to indicate that if one has not visited the mohalla clinics or the schools which we have made. Now, what has happened is this is what we are promoting when we go to Gujarat as well. And that is where the problem begins, because Gujarat has not, we are busting the Gujarat model. We are talking about what 6,300 schools have been shut down. 14 districts have no CT scan machine. We are talking about a total prohibition on alcohol in Gujarat, and yet the alcohol business running into thousands of
crores. Fair enough, but as Shazia said, that's not a carte blanche that you're fighting an election to be immune to any investigation.
No, not at all. We have faced, like I said, we have faced about 180 investigations by now, and we welcome all of them. Even today, we did not create any ruckus like the Congress party.
Okay, Tushar wants to come in. Tushar, very quickly.
Shivani, at the risk of getting into Yadav ki Bharat, in 2013, when Narendra Modi was the chief minister, Arvind Kejriwal made a thunderous entry into Gujarat, going directly to his office trying to expose the Gujarat model. That was 2013. In 2022, 3 state elections later, 2 national elections later, Aam Aadmi Party has been able to expose absolutely nothing, absolutely zero. So their Gujarat argument should be taken with a huge bag of salt. It means nothing. It's just a distraction. Again, the simple question there is, Ms. Priyanka here says that the same excise policy has earned them more money in Punjab. I buy it. There are reports. My question is that why were your revenues falling in Delhi?
And why did you retract the policy? Very quickly, Priyanka. 30 seconds, then I go to my other guest. Tushar, please yield, let her respond.
Because Tusharji, right on the day, or right one day before the date of the implementation, certain new conditions were imposed by the LG, which forced the vendors who were successful in the auctioneering process, which they were not able to stand. That is what happened, and we had to withdraw it. It could not earn that kind of revenue.
Actually, the center of this investigation and alleged scam is not so much that the revenues fell. That loss to exchequer is one of the aspects. But remember, Manish Sisodia is facing the charge of kickbacks here. And that's the more serious, more grave allegation. Sometimes policies can go awry and there can be unintended losses, etc. But if there's an element of kickback, then that brings in an element of corruption. I want to go across to AP Singh, former director of the CBI on this. Given the case and Manish Sisodia being the concerned minister for this policy, do you believe that this is a fit case for him to be arrested, as the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that he will be?
I think we are jumping the gun. He's just been called to be examined, and he has to be examined because he's the main person. He was heading the department. This whole prohibition, excise policy, is his brainchild. So how can you not examine him? And you have arrested some people. There are other accused. So you have to, take their statements, compare it, and find out what actually happened. And you're quite right. There's a very strong liquor mafia in the country, not only in Delhi, everywhere. And you have to find out the nexus between them, the public servants, and the middlemen. And it's not necessary, as one of your participants said, it's not necessary that it goes up to Manish Sisodia. It may, it may not. But at least you will find out where the weak links were, what were the connections. And so we need to focus on the excise policy, what went wrong with it, and if there was any corruption involved. So that is the job of the CBI. And this has all been based on a report of the Chief Secretary. The Chief Secretary has pointed out all these irregularities, and the CBI has taken it up after that.
Mr. Singh, would you concede though that given the political climate, the issue of the Gujarat elections being brought in fact the charge against most central agencies being that they're being used against political opponents, will you concede that this is a test case for the CBI too? If they don't actually manage to prove charges, they lose face.
I won't comment on that. It's an investigation. It's a proper investigation, and CBI has to do its job. Now, if there are any complaints, you can always go to the court. You can go to the High Court. You can go to the Supreme Court. CBI is also answerable to the courts. It's not an independent agency in that sense. It does report to the court. So if there is anything malified in the CBI investigation, surely you can take it up in court. You have all the top lawyers.
Fair enough.
I don't think that is the issue. And this is just we are just, jumping the gun. He's just being asked some questions. What is wrong with that? He did implement this policy. He is involved in getting this policy in. And there are irregularities because obviously they have suddenly, after 6 months, they've closed this policy and they've done a complete U-turn. So there must be some reasons for it. And there are allegations, so if CBI is investigating, I think it's absolutely fair.
Yes, and in this case, we must note that the CBI